Alright guys, welcome back. I think in today's video we're going to go down and try to cut those shock mounts off of that other frame that I showed y'all in one of the other videos, because that's got to be done before we can put the pan in. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm getting close to wanting to put the pan in. I mean, I still have a few little things I got to do. I got to clean all this up, obviously, and scuff it all up and clean up and, just, busy work that nobody wants to watch me do. So I think that's what we're going to do. I try not to talk about, like, my personal stuff on here a lot, but I did want to say, if y'all hear me breathing heavy in the video, I've been having some, like, respiratory issues. I've been to the doctor a few times. I don't think it's anything serious, but so if I stop and I'm like, that's what it is. So don't. It ain't no big deal, but hope it ain't. But anyway, that's all that is. I just want to kind of make that aware. So I know sometimes I get comments about things in my videos. I didn't want nobody to comment like, why are you breathing so heavy? What's wrong? Are you having a heart attack? That kind of stuff. But yeah, even just talking, I get out of breath. So, and of course my wife thinks it's from working out here on these old rusty cars and grinding and cutting and welding and all that stuff. But I've been wearing these masks like this, these N95 masks, but as you can see on the inside of it, stuff gets past it. And I know, of course, this is kind of gross, but I know, like, when I get done working out here, when I go in, I'll have like black stuff like up in my nose and stuff, so I know I'm breathing that stuff in. So that may be what it is. Hopefully it's nothing too major. But anyway, I do want to talk about, again, we're still doing the giveaway. Not the last video I posted, but the video before that. Go back and watch that video if you haven't yet, and it's got everything you need to know. We're doing t-shirts and some stickers here. I'm gonna show you some of the stickers we got. These are the only two we've got so far, but we'll send out some stickers, and then my wife is working on getting t-shirts made, so we'll have a t-shirt. And speaking of stickers, I'm kind of a fiend for stickers, as you can tell by my toolbox. And then I have a whole drawer that's there's a lot of stuff in there, but mostly stickers. But somebody sent me some killer Pontiac stickers. And again, I've yet to figure out when it comes from Amazon. I'm not very tech savvy, so I'm not sure how to figure out who sent it. It comes with a little thing you can scan, but it still doesn't give a name. So if you sent these to me, thank you very much, and comment and be like, hey, I'm the one that sent you these stickers. But I opened them and looked at them. They're really cool. There's some like newer emblems, some older ones. I'm trying to get them open again, but I can't do it one-handed. But anyway, that was cool. So those will get stuck on something here pretty soon. I'm going to put them in my drawer until then, until I figure out what we're going to do with them. But yeah, that was cool. I appreciate it. Thank you, whoever that was. But anyway, I do have a little bit of cleanup I need to do real quick and gather my stuff up, and we'll go down and try to get those shock tower mounts off that other frame, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. It's kind of rainy. It's kind of slacked off a little bit at the moment, but it's wet and nasty outside, as you can see. So, but hopefully we can get it done before it starts pouring down rain. So give me a minute and we'll get back on that. All right, here we are back down to this frame down here. So it's kind of cut right here and like right here on the other car. Not sure how. I'm gonna try to take the whole thing if I can get it. Kind of wraps under there, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I want to go further up, so I got plenty of room. Not really sure how to do this yet, but I'm gonna try to get I don't know if I'm gonna take this one. I mean, the other one is on there, it's just kind of bent up. I might can straighten it. We'll just see how easy this one comes off. I have to get this fuel line cut off out of my way and kind of go from there. Guess I can just go like right through here maybe. I guess if I had the camera where y'all can see what I'm doing, but I mean, it kind of overlaps over here, but I don't know. We'll just start cutting on it, see what happens. I'll get the camera set up, maybe do a little time lapse here and see what happens. Alright, I got it cut off. I hope I left myself enough room. I don't know. We'll see when we get back up to the shop. I don't think I'm going to cut this one off yet. I'm going to wait and see how this one goes. And then when we get to messing with that other one, we may try to straighten it a little bit. And if not, we can always cut this one off then. So I think that's what we're going to do. And it's starting to rain a little bit, so I'm going to get out of here. Alright, I'm hoping y'all can see in here pretty good. So this part right here is, you know, this part here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this. I'm just going to try to cut a straight line right through here and try to match it with this one. And try to get somewhat of a straight line through there. Of course, man, they have got that just butchered up under there. But I think first things first, I need to get this angle piece cut out and out of my way, and then just try to fit this in here somehow like it needs to be, which looks like I did leave myself enough room. Not really sure how I want to do this yet, but I do think that I do want to leave this piece because it's, you know, the factory weld I think will be stronger than what I'm going to do. So the less welding I have to do, I think the better. And I think it'll be easier for me to weld a straight line across there. And then hopefully I can get back here. And this is kind of in my way, but I can always go and weld it from the bottom too. But like they have just, god dang, looks like they have just mangled that up there. What the hell did they do? Ooh. That looks split all the way. We may have to, when we get this out of the way, we may have to pull that down and weld it back to the frame somehow. This is turning into a nightmare. Like, this is way more than I thought. I don't know if y'all can see that. But see where that has split from the frame right there? I wonder if when they cut that, I don't know what happened there. But see, it's like, it's not like that over here. I know I'm not doing a very good job filming this, but like right there where my finger's at, that is supposed to be touching the frame. So we're going to have to get that somehow. When we get this all cut out, pull that down and weld it to the frame before we weld all this stuff, I think is what we're going to have to do. So that might be a pain in the ass with all this. We may have to cut some more of the floor out. I really didn't want to have to do that. But either way, I mean, we got to get this stuff out of the way. So let me climb out of here and then we'll kind of get a game plan on what we're doing. All right, before I start cutting that out, I'm going to try a different setup to try to keep from inhaling all this stuff. And I think I'm going to open a couple of the doors up a little bit, and maybe get a little fresh air going through here. Because I'm going to tell y'all right now, this not being able to breathe is no bueno. It is no fun at all. So if I can minimize, you know, causing any more damage, I'm going to try to do it. So I was trying to figure out where I'm going to put all this stuff. I need to open that door, so I'm going to move that door, the car door, off of it. And probably open this one, maybe get a little air flow through here. And then I'm going to get in there and try to get that old stuff cut out. And then we'll try to see if we can get that one piece back down to the frame. See how hard that's going to be, because that's got to be done. I mean, that's going to throw off the height of the rear, because it's a good 1/4 to 1/2 inch higher. And that's the spring pocket where the spring sits up in there. So that's going to have the car kind of, you know, tilting a little bit. It's just always something, you know, every time you start messing with these old cars, I've said it time and time again, you never know what you're getting into, but we need to fix it now while we're there. I'm really ready to get this pan done and get to where we can start doing the mechanical aspect of it. So I really need to get this done, and I'm just, you know, it just seems like whenever I think I'm getting a handle on everything and getting ahead, you know, getting to where we're ready to start putting the pan in, new stuff pops up. So, but it will be easier to fix now than once we get the pan in, because I can kind of get to everything a little, to an extent, you know. So that's what we're going to try to do. Get that. I need to cut that. I'm going to try to at least get the piece of channel out of the way, get it cut out, and then we'll kind of go from there. I'm going to have to get under it and see where it's welded, you know, how it's welded underneath, or if it's welded underneath, and then try to get that spring pocket pushed back down in there. So I don't know. I'm really curious as to what happened and what caused them to have to do this hacked up procedure here. You know, did that bust loose from the frame, and then they went in and tried to, you know, maybe, I don't know what happened. So, but it's kind of a hacked up repair for sure. But I mean, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, I really wish I had another frame, but I do not. So we're just gonna keep trying to fix this one. Alright, so here is the piece of channel that they had in there. Ooh, it's still a little warm. Got it kind of cut out. I'm going to try to get under there and show you. Ooh. What I need to do now, getting the light here, maybe y'all can see, but that needs to come down to the frame right there. So I need to figure out some way to try to clamp that. But before I do, I'm going to try to get in here and get all this ground down, you know, where I can weld it. And then I'm going to have to, I want to get this welded to the frame before I start worrying about fitting the other piece. Because I need this, like I said, I need this pulled down. And then we'll kind of go from there. I pulled a hole in the frame right there, trying to knock that piece off. So I need to get all this crap ground down and weld that little spot up too while I'm in there. But let me kind of get that ground down a little bit to where I can weld to it, and I'll try to figure out some way, hopefully, to get this thing ground or clamped down. I think if I can find it, I have a big C-clamp. I don't know if it'll fit between here and the floor, what's left of the floor pan or trunk pan. But if I can get it in there and clamp it to the frame and hold it while I run, you know, just run a bead right through there, and then we'll focus on fixing the mount. But that's kind of, oh, let me roll out of here. Ooh, that's rough on the old man. I haven't seen that C-clamp in a while, so that's part of my problem about why things take so long, is finding shit in this shop. Like, it is a nightmare. Like, I can have something one day, have it in my hand and put it somewhere, and then go look for it the next day and can't find it. I will say this mask does seem to work. I guess this is really considered a respirator. It does seem to work a lot better than the N95 masks. So, and I do As you can see, you have the doors open a little bit, so trying to be a little smarter, you know, safety third. So hopefully that don't make whatever I got going on, make it no worse. But anyway, let me see if I can find out how to get this thing clamped down. Well, first I gotta get in there and kind of clean everything up, and then we'll worry about that. So we'll be back in just a minute. All right, so I couldn't find my big C-clamp, but I got a piece of wood jammed in between that and the floor pan, and it's got it pretty good. I think it's got enough where I can weld it. So I'm gonna get the welder set up, try to run a bead through there, and see if we can get that back in place. And then there's where I tried folding that back up in there, but I got a little spot right there. I need to try to weld that up and smooth that back down, because that's where the other piece will have to be welded. And hopefully this, of course, I probably kicked that piece of wood on fire, but you know, everybody needs a little excitement in their life, right? Hopefully I don't burn the whole shop down. I'm gonna get the welder set up and see what we can get done here. This is just turned into way more than I thought it was gonna be, but this is part of it. All right, let me kind of show you what we're working with here. I got this piece welded back to the frame, and I've tried cutting this piece out to fit, but this thing here, this part here, is so mangled up and bent that it ain't, I don't know. I think what I'm gonna have to do is just find a spot where it's close and weld, and then maybe have to like beat everything else into place with a hammer on one side, because if I line it up over here close enough, it don't fit back here. And if I lined it up back here, I don't know, it just ain't. Of course, a lot of it too is probably how I cut it out, but this piece was like, it was like right here was curled almost all the way up to about right here. So I mean, it has been bent and out of shape, so it makes it hard. And plus, nothing is straight on this, so, but I think I can get it close. You know, it's gonna be ugly as a mud fence when I get done with it, but as long as it's solid, that's all I care about. Nobody's ever really gonna see this. I mean, I'm sure if somebody crawls underneath it, they will, but I think it's close enough. I can get it stuck on there. So I think that I'm gonna mess with it a little bit more and see if I can get it just a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but I think maybe if I trim that back corner over there a little bit where it'll kind of turn this way some. Well, I don't know if that'll work either, because that's going to mess me up here, but this piece can be knocked in, I think, with a hammer. So I don't know, let me mess with it a little more and see what I can come up with, but that's kind of where we're at right now, is fighting this thing. But anyway, we did get the other piece welded back to the frame. All right, so I went ahead and put a couple of tacks on it, and now I'm gonna see if I can kind of hammer everything or bend everything closer to where it needs to be, now that it's kind of held in place a little bit. I just did a few little tacks, that way if it doesn't work out like I wanted, I can just cut them off and we can start over. But I think between my horrible measuring and cutting and everything being bent out of shape, this is going to be not good. But I think it's, you know, it's not anything we can't fix. It's just going to take me some finagling to figure it all out, and then I'm just going to booger weld the hell out of it and make sure it doesn't fall off going down the road, and that's all I care about. So let me see if I can straighten this thing out a little bit better before we really kind of burn it in. But I think I'll go across the top and some on the bottom too. But we're gonna have to get this thing fitting a little bit better before we really start burning it in. So let me see how much better I can get this thing. All right, it is in there, sort of. I got it welded. Just don't pay no attention to my ugly welding. Crawl in here. Oh God. So it is good as it's gonna get, especially with my terrible welding skills, but it is on there. It seems pretty solid. I got a pretty good gap right back there. I tried to get underneath. I did some welding on the bottom side too, but I've said many times I'm not a very good welder. And obviously you can tell by looking at my welding, I'm not a good welder, but welding overhead, laying on my back, I'm really not good at it. So the underside is not working out like I want it to. So I'm gonna have to definitely work on that some more, because I want this solid. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on that. You know, the spring sits up in here and then your shock mount's right there. So, I mean, I still don't know what the hell they did. I mean, I would really be curious to know what caused all this. I don't know if they were just like running from the law and boonie crashing this thing at some point, or playing Dukes of Hazzard or something. But even this shock mount is bent a little bit. I think I can take and knock that back down and get it close. I don't want to have to cut all this back out like I did this side if I don't have to. I mean, we will if we have to, but I don't think I'm going to. But I do need to work on this a little bit more, do a little more welding on it, and then I'm gonna put some paint on it. So just fog some black paint on it to protect my weld, where my welds are and everything. But yeah, this was a pain in the butt, but hopefully it's good enough to hold. I mean, I really tried burning it in pretty solid. Like I said, it's some ugly welds, but I've went over it a couple times, and I might, you know, might even lay another bead across the top all the way around just to, I don't know, but I really need to get underneath it and look at that a little more and see how bad it is. Oh. But I mean, I feel good about it. I think it's going to be fine. It's got to be better than, you know, this crap that was in there. I mean, and of course, making the decision to do that was a good idea, because I found where the shock or the spring pocket had ripped off the frame. I didn't notice that before, and probably wouldn't have noticed that if I wouldn't have cut that other piece out. So that's good. That would have been a nightmare to fix once the car was all together and we had the rear end and everything in it. And that's probably when I'd have noticed it, because I'm sure it would have made noise going down the road, like a banging noise or something. So yeah, it's a good thing we found that now, because that would have been a nightmare. But I think I'm going to maybe get under there and try to do a little more welding. I took just a quick little break and ate a snack, and just kind of took a break for a minute. So I think I'm gonna get back under there and just look and see what I can do. There is, like I said, there is a pretty good little gap right where that shock mount meets the frame in the very far corner. You can kind of, I don't know if you can see here where it kind of curls up. I tried to take a dowel, like a metal rod and a hammer, and try to knock it down, but it ain't working. So I guess I'm just going to try to get in on the bottom side and see if I can feel it maybe. And I might crawl under the back of this car and kind of see where everything is in relation to that. And I may just try to weld like a little brace or something in there, or take another little piece of metal and weld in there. I've got plenty here that I cut off, you know, cutting off of that piece. So I may just, because like I said, it's a pretty good gap, and you know, my welding sucks, so I can't weld a gap like that. So I may try to mess with that a little bit, and hopefully, because I want it solid. I don't want it coming off or breaking loose once we get the car together, because I don't know that I could fix it in the car when everything's done, like the pan and everything is in it. So I really want to try to get it done now and get it done solid where I don't have to worry about it. So let me get under there and mess with it a little bit more, and hopefully we'll be done with this here pretty quick. All right, it is welded top and bottom now. I did get under there and put a little plate on the bottom side where I had a pretty good gap, and fully welded it all the way around. The top side welds don't look real great, but the bottom side are even worse. But I think it's in there solid. I took my BFH and knocked the shit out of it a couple times, and it hasn't moved, so I think it's in there pretty solid. So I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit. I'm not even gonna grind the welds down. I'm just gonna leave them, and I'm gonna put some paint on it. I think the only black I got is engine enamel, but I mean, who cares? I'm just trying to stop it from, you know, like flash rusting where I've been welding and grinding. Eventually I would like to, and before I put the pan in, I may go in and like wire brush what of the frame I can see right here and put some paint on it. And then once we get the pans all done, trunk pan, and get all the floor pans done and finished welded, I'm gonna get underneath it, and I've got some undercoating. I'm just gonna undercoat the whole thing, you know, the fender wells and everything. It's gonna be all blacked out. I'm probably, once we get it rolling again, I think I'm gonna take the inner fenders out, because I want to take all this AC stuff off. Oh, god dang compressor. Ooh, that pisses me off when I'm filming. Anyway, I want to get everything stripped off the firewall, and probably, like I said, we'll probably take the inner fenders out and then clean all this up and paint all under the hood and everything. And if there's any rust we find when we do that, we'll fix. Other than the core support, I really probably need to replace that core support. I hate to do that though, but yeah, we may wind up doing that. But anyway, all this shit's got to come off. I got to figure out how to, these hood hinges are rusted down and you can't get to the bolts, so I got to get them off somehow. And but anyway, that's way down the road for now. But like I said, I'm just kind of talking in freaking circles. But yeah, I'm glad to have this done. I feel way better about it. I just couldn't leave it like it was. I mean, I don't know that it would have been a problem, and I don't know that my repair is much better than what was in there, but I feel better about it, and that's all that matters, right? It's my car. So I mean, man, I tell you what, this car is just, the more I mess with it, the more I think, well, what was I thinking? Like, why did I buy this piece of shit? No, I'm just kidding. I love this car. I think it's going to be awesome when I get done with it. I mean, I really dig it. It's just turned into way more work than what I was anticipating. What they all do. That's some way, when I first put this car together, the reason I call this car Spare Parts was it was, at the time I started, I mean, I've had all this shit for years and years and years and years, but it was about 10 years ago when I finally decided I'm just going to throw this car together. It was supposed to be just a quick little, I got enough shit laying around the shop. Let's throw it together and have us a beater until we can afford to do what we want to do with the black car. So that's all this car was supposed to be, just thrown together with crappy old parts I had laying around. And then it just snowballed. When I start tearing into something and I see something, it's like, oh, I can't let that go. I need to fix that. And so it wound up getting, at one time, I went through even every brake line on this car was replaced. Every piece of brakes 10 years ago was brand new. And then it sat for so long, probably 6 or 7 years before I ever really got it to where, you know, it was together. And it's a 400 4-speed car. So when I the first time it was together, a functioning car, it had that 400 in it, but I did put an automatic in it just because at the time I didn't have clutch and all that stuff. And so we had issues with the transmission. So I pulled that transmission out, put all the 4-speed stuff in it, and then since then we put another motor in. It's got a different transmission. I'm on third rear end, but like, you know, I started doing trunk pan and all kinds of stuff. It just, you know, something that was supposed to just, let's just throw it together and make it run. And then we have went through and redone so much shit on this car, and you just keep finding stuff and keep finding, the more you dig into it. And so it's never just a quick little, oh, let's just throw it together, which is kind of what I thought about this car. I knew it had some rust. I didn't realize it was as bad as it was until I really started digging into it. But that's, you know, that's just part of it. I mean, I'm still gonna, I mean, I'm not giving up on it. We're still gonna finish it, and I think it's gonna be cool when we get it done. I do wish, though, like I said, I know we kind of talked about this. I wish the hood and the deck lid wasn't quite as bad, because I would really like to use those because of the coloring on it matches the rest of it, you know. Which, you know, I may go ahead and just, I don't know, that's pretty bad. But I mean, I may go ahead and use the trunk for a little while until, I don't know, we'll just see. I'm getting ahead of myself, but anyway, like I said, I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit, and we're gonna squirt some paint on it, and we're gonna call that repair done. And then hopefully the next time we're working on this, it'll be putting the trunk pan in it, so, you know, getting that done. I'm ready to be done with that. And of course, when I first started messing with this trunk pan, I kind of had everything measured and figured out how I want it, but now it's been weeks and weeks and weeks messing with this other stuff that I kind of forgot where I was at, so I'm gonna have to refit everything. So it's just, I don't know, it's turning into a cluster. But I still got to figure out where I'm gonna end it or cut it up here and what I'm gonna do up there. But when I did my gray car, I just overlapped it. You know what I mean? I didn't butt weld it. I just laid it, you know, I cut all this out, but like up here, I just kind of overlapped it, and then up there I overlapped it. And I don't really want to do that again, but that would be the easiest way. But it makes for a janky repair, I think. And then it kind of opens you up to, if you can't get in there and seam seal it real good, you know, you kind of open yourself up to rust problems down the road, I think. That's my opinion, but I mean, I'm not an expert, so I don't know. We'll just wait until we start digging into it. I know I still got to get all this crap here off before I can get everything set down in there again and measured. But anyway, like I said, I do feel good about getting that shock mount done. That was really stressing me out. But I think this is where I'm gonna call this video. Again, I know I talked about it, I think at the beginning of this video. I don't know. It's been a crazy day, but go back a couple of videos and comment on that video, tell a joke or something for a chance to win t-shirts and stickers for our giveaway. That's running till the end of December. So after December 31st, sometime at the beginning of January, we'll do a video on that and decide who's going to win that, and we'll get that stuff shipped out to them. We've had, like I said, we've had some pretty good jokes. You know, like I said, just a corny dad joke or something just make me laugh, and we'll pick one and send out some stuff to everybody. So can't remember how many I counted the other day, how many we had, but it wasn't a whole lot, but we need some more, definitely. But anyway, thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Thanks for all my new subscribers, my old subscribers, everybody that comments and likes my videos. I really appreciate it, and we will catch y'all on the next one. Go work on your junk.